Okay, well, my name is Pamela Cowan. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer and also CFO for Pulmac Systems International. We have traditionally been in the business of producing test equipment for the pulp and paper industry for mills. And we're just moving into a whole new area of business in the area of digitalization. And because of that, we are sort of shifting all of our business processes. And one of the ways that we are shifting it is that we decided to outsource our accounting function. So we're a pretty small company. We do about $1 million a year in our traditional business. And who knows what next year is going to be, but it's going to be a lot more than $1 million. So I had an accounting manager that pretty much did all of our accounting for 10 years, and she left the company with 2 weeks notice, and I hired, that's when we decided to outsource the accounting, and I hired a group, and it was just chaos and mayhem. And so everything was out of control, and it was very concerning because being the Chief Strategy Officer and the CFO, I'm not full-time on the finances, and then having the burden of having to compensate for the work of this group we were subcontracting. It just they couldn't wrap their they couldn't get the work done in a way that was reliable. So I was pretty much pulling my hair out, and I had a year earlier reached out to you guys and was considering hiring you when our accounting manager was still with the company. And we didn't go that route because the combined cost of a full-time accounting manager and the service was more than our budget could handle at the time. But I always was really impressed. And so when I was struggling with this other organization, I just said, why am I doing this? There's these ScaleNorth people, I should reach out to them again. And so about a year later, I reached out to you guys. So the biggest concern about ScaleNorth is that it's an hourly model. In my experience with dealing with professional services is those kinds of relationships can get out of control really easily. So if you're very, very cash flow conscious, then you don't want to get surprises. And so it's scary to adopt an hourly model in that environment. And I have to say that probably was the biggest barrier. Not at all. In fact, one of the things, in fact, the reason why I'm willing to take the time to do this, because I don't have a lot of time in my schedule, is because I'm so impressed with not only the technical skill of the individuals involved, but your business model. You have it down pat. And one of the services that you're providing me is keeping an eye on the budget. You will not exceed the dollar amount that I put in there. I said, I have this much in my budget, please don't go over it. And you haven't. And whenever there was a threat to that, they'd say, well, look, you're getting up against your total. What are our priorities? What would you like us to do? Which of these tasks would you like us to do? So I'm always aware of what isn't getting done, and I get to choose that. And so the proactive nature and the communication around that has been incredible. And I haven't even gone down the road of talking about the technical competence, which is also incredible. So in 3 months, I've gone from pulling my hair out to not worrying at all about bills getting paid, about accounting work. There were some significant problems with my 2024 books, and we have a deadline for when that's all going to be cleaned up. And we report against that deadline, and so I know exactly what's going on, and it's like night and day. So my experience with working with the actual team is that there's some really, you guys, when I say your business model, I don't just mean how you charge for your services. I mean how you function, how you're organized, how you set yourselves up, and you absolutely have a formula for doing that that is very commendable. And I don't give compliments easily. My daughter has a business, and I said to her, because she was using the same outsource group that I was, and I said, you got to go to ScaleNorth. And she just said to me, I've never heard you say so consistently such positive things about a contractor before in my life. I'm definitely hiring these people, and I have very high expectations, and you guys have really met all of my expectations and then some. They ask very good questions. There are communication mechanisms set up, so it's easy to get in touch with people. There's a whole communication pattern around how you keep track of interactions. There's a reporting mechanism that tells me exactly where you're at with stuff. And I have not felt like my accounting's a runaway train ever since you guys got at the helm. Well, the first thing is now I can trust what's in my accounts payable. It's not a complete disaster. So not only is it up to date, but it's been cleaned up. Okay, still within the budget that, you know, we agreed upon. Bills get paid when I want them to get paid. And there's a real commitment to thinking ahead about what the logistics will be for them to be able to perform the tasks. So, hey, Pam, we're going to need a log on. We're going to need credentials and a log on to this if you want that paid next week. That kind of stuff. Really, really good at thinking ahead and being proactive and making sure that things run as smoothly as possible. We haven't even gotten to the really, you know, the year end, or excuse me, the month end close type activities and the year end close type activities. But the conversations that I've had in terms of trying to solve problems, like when something doesn't look right and we get on a call, it gives me great confidence that that is not going to be a difficult process. I think I'd say don't worry about the hourly model. Just tell them what's your budget. You know, they're going to be realistic about what they believe that it's going to cost, and it in fact has played out that way. And I think that also that ScaleNorth has such a good idea of what it takes to do books that they're very good at predicting what's going to be required. I like their commitment to improving the operational efficiency of the work that they're doing, because their goal is to bring that monthly expense down to the lowest, to the most efficient place. And I see signs of that. And I think that in my experience, and here's going to hear my taskmaster toughness is going to come out, is there in the area of accounting, there's a lot of charlatans. There's a lot of people that, you know, did bookkeeping work for a construction company, and all they know how to do is produce financial statements for a tax return. And if you need to use your books for management reasons, you need to have a group that is on the ball and knows what they're doing, and it has to be worry-free. And that's what I've been experiencing, is a group that's on the ball, knows what's happening, and I'm not worried about it anymore. It's been great. They even noticed that they could tell on the Teams call that I was much calmer about things. I recommend ScaleNorth because, you know, if you're going to outsource something, you want it done worry-free. You want the results that you're looking for worry-free, with no surprises at the end of the month. And that's what you get. So, and the other thing is, it's costing me less than what a full-time employee would be. So there's a real, not only is it extremely good quality work, you're going to have continuity, because even if someone leaves the company, there's a team on it, and there'll be no sort of loss of institutional knowledge. They operate the same way with all of their clients, so it's easy to jump in and keep things going. And cost of it, while it seems like a lot, is not a lot compared to, you got to hire one person, right, to do this. So it would cost me more to hire that one person than to have this work outsourced. I think that the concept of focusing on your core competencies has been around for quite a long time. And having to manage an accounting department is a core competency. And if I can outsource that, why build an accounting department? If I can outsource that effectively, why should I build an accounting department? It doesn't make sense. And, with all the new technologies around AI, I'm assuming you guys are looking into that and you're experts in it. I won't have to become an expert. You guys are going to do it and you're going to pass those savings on to me. And so, I don't see that scaling is going to result in me taking this back, especially if the quality of work continues the way it has. If that's the trajectory, I don't see why I would take that back in-house. It doesn't make sense to me.